Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, say welcome, Coco. Coco, say welcome. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, y'all, where we are here to do what? Help you maximize your money. I am Constance Carter, and today is we're gonna take a deep dive into two explosive topics, shaking up political and cultural conversations. First, we're going to unpack Donald Trump's controversial announcement about paying out. Can y'all help me with this? I don't know if I could say it out loud. Can some of the queens and the king, can y'all help me say the word? What is it? It starts with an R. I don't know if I could say it. Take it, unmute yourself and say the word. Somebody, I can't say it. I don't know if I can.
Reparations.
Reparations. Oh, I can't say it. Reparations for white people. That just don't sound right. Not for black people, but for white people who claimed that they face discrimination under the guise of equity, giving them Negroes equality after 400 years of oppression. Why the fuck would we want to do that? Then we're going to turn to Kamala Harris, who reportedly racked up $20 million in debt paying for celebrity endorsements. Now, let me ask you a question, panels, ladies and gentlemen, queens and king. Was this a telltale sign of how she would have run the country? Is it? That's what we're going to talk about. So, I'm Constance Carter. I'm your wealth activist. We have Miss Vanessa Gopal. She's an entrepreneur and she has a master's, not a bachelor's. She don't got no AA degree. She ain't got no certificate, but she has a master's in public policy. Then we have Dr. Charm, who is a physician, but not only is she a doctor, y'all, she's a comedian, she's an actress, and she's a psychic medium. So she do all in one. She could tell you a joke, deliver your baby, and tell you your future, y'all. And then we have the We Wealth Warrior herself, all things pop culture, Miss Athena. And then we have therapist Dr. Joe Corley, all joining us today. So listen, y'all. Right before we got on yesterday, I saw the video of the motherfucking name. Oh, can I say that? So the guy named Trump, which I won't say he's my president, I'll say he's they president. Okay. He got on there talking about he wants to give, what's the R word again? I need y'all to say it because I don't think I could say it. What is it?
Reparations, aka restitution.
All right, reparations for white people. That don't even sound right. Do reparations for white people sound right? Does it even make logical sense? Reparations for white people? Like that's an oxymoron, right? Reparations for white people because they decided to give black people equity after 400 years of oppression. So the idea that we talk about slavery and hurt these motherfuckers' feelings, they need to be compensated for it. But that begs to me a even bigger question is the fact that we can't even get the Democrats to have a conversation about reparations, but yet white people that got their feelings hurt because they had to give up some of their supremacy and their privilege for in the name of equity to black people, and now they want to be compensated for it. Now he wants to compensate them for it, which is just outlandishly crazy. But y'all, this is what we're dealing with. This is the twilight zone that we're in. So people don't think this is real. Some people don't think this is real. I could already tell. So let's go ahead and look at the video where it comes out. Because I even posted about it today. And somebody said, "Oh, that's propaganda. That's y'all twisting his words." Well, let's hear the words that actually came off this motherfucker's mouth. Let's hear it.
Of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
Gambling, you are the dumbest person I've ever seen on the Fly Nubian Money. When you said hiring unqualified Black people and firing qualified white employees was always going to backfire. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody say in my life. You're an idiot. You need to get off here. So let me ask you all a question. What do you think of this video and the whole idea of this motherfucker giving reparations to white people because their feelings were hurt? I'll start with you, Dr. Charm, since you got that big old smile. And you giving all the body and the hair body and everything.
Okay, is my mic good? Can you hear me?
Nah,
good?
I need you to go up a little bit. You're a little low.
Okay, is it better? Is it better? No.
Nope.
All right.
Go up a little bit more.
Let me.
Nope. Now we can't hear you at all, sis. And then she did like this with it, so she's like, yes.
Oh, I was mute. That's because I was muted. I have a new mic and everything. Let me introduce y'all. This, I name all my girls. This is Stacey.
You stupid.
Parlez-vous français? But anyways, we're talking about restitution. And
Restitution for whites. RFW.
Yeah, first of all, he don't ever need to say reparations. And here's the thing. White people benefit from the most affirmative action of any other group. White supremacy is their affirmative action. They've got permanent affirmative action. They're the only group of people who have received compensation for slavery in Britain and in America. Do you all know at the eve of the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, around that time, they gave, I think at the time it was like $300 per slave. So, $300 is worth more now. Worth more then than it is now. It's a different. I don't know what the current day equivalent is what I'm saying. But for all the slave masters that agreed to go ahead and free their slaves, the government compensated them, and if I'm not mistaken, $300 per head. Same thing happened in Britain when Britain outlawed the transatlantic slave trade. So white people are the only group that have gotten reparations for slavery. We still have not. So Trump can go and take those statements and just shove them somewhere. And
up his ass.
I don't know if he's just, he says these inflammatory things, and he does these inflammatory things to really cater to his base, which I do have to admire him for that. Like, he caters to his base. And I think the Democrats had catered to their base, we would have a different president right now, but we don't.
I can 100% unequivocally. That's the one thing I can respect about that fool, is he's going to cater to the people who voted for him. That's the one thing I could say about his ass. Dr. Joe, what do you think? RFW.
What does that stand for?
Reparations for whites.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
put that on a t-shirt. That's all I want. That's all I want. No, I listened to that a few times. It's hard to ignore it. It's popping up all over the feed and all of that. And my initial reaction was, anger, and I know enough to know that anger is a secondary emotion. So what's really going on is that I'm just sad and slightly fearful, of, what that means and what that symbolizes. And, where are we going? And I have to sit here and tolerate not only him, but the people he emboldens for, however long they're going to be emboldened for. So, I know it's nonsense, and I agree with Dr. Charm. He's really good at catering to his base. But what does that leave us? Just kind of feeling lost and unheard, like normal,
Yeah, what it makes me see is that the Democrats is a party full of pussies. That's what I see, because that's all this did for me, is just like, it just shone the light. And I see why, a lot of the, how Dr. Boyce always was, he was antagonizing the Democratic Party. And I'm like, why don't you talk to the Republicans and give them the same energy that you're giving to the Democrats? Like, they're running too. But I see Black people vote for Democrats. Democrats never promise anything to Black people ever. And this man gets on here and he says, for my people, this further supports the fact that Democrats, they say we're the, or Black people who are running for office, they say we're the president for everybody, not just for Black people. Well, Trump said, I'm the president for those who vote for me, which are white people, and I'm only going to support and work for white people because those are the people who vote for me. But we always talking about he the president for Obama, the president for everybody. Kamala's the president for everybody. Vanessa, what do you think about the idea of this man giving RFW?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I think that we've consistently seen
Really?
Trump. No, I'm not. I'm not surprised by anything he says he's going to do for white people. I mean, if you don't know that that's what that man is for by now, then you live under a rock. So, I mean, I think the bigger issue of this argument is that we have to now figure out, for one, nobody's coming to save us. Let me say that. Nobody's coming to save us but us.
So wait. I need you. Wait. I need everybody to hear you. I need you to say it again for the people in the back and for the people in the comments and everybody on the panel. I need you to say that one more time.
Nobody is coming to save us but us. So you can be a Trump supporter, you could be a Kamala supporter, you could be whatever. You could support an alien. However, nobody is going to save you. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at any of the rhetoric that Trump says. I actually don't even really pay attention to social media anymore because at this point I'm just mashing. I'm like, cool. Well, whatever they got going on, whatever everybody is getting all, emotional about, I got to just sidestep it and keep mashing. What are these policies? How can I get in where I fit in terms of him actually doing that, trying to overturn DEI initiatives, I think that they're going to have a big battle, of course, at the court level, because then you would have to arguably overturn Brown versus Board of Education, because that was argued under the equal protection rights, which actually a lot of the DEI initiatives were started because it was unfair treatment, unequal access, and just unfairness, level playing ground across the board. So those were the reasons why DEI initiatives were created. So I think in general, like Trump is doing, he's saying all this stuff to ignite his base. But I think it'll be a long uphill battle, because you would have to literally overturn precedent. I mean, monumental precedent, and they've done it with the abortion. They've done it. It's not unprecedented, but that was a 50-year battle. Like, it didn't just happen overnight. So, I mean, I think a part of it is just igniting his base and talking. But I also think we as Black folks can't get all emotional and caught up in the shit that he's saying. We got to just mash. Like, we got to grab our 5 people, as I always say, get them on board with entrepreneurship, corporations, resources, and we got to mash. Like, really, fuck what this man is talking about. We don't care. Like, we don't care. Just
Speak on
mash.
it, Miss V. This is what I'm saying. She come with the receipts, and that's my Cali sis, right? We just gotta mash on them fools. That's my Cali shit right there. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna ask you again, Miss Athena, when we come back from a commercial, but this is really important. So I don't want to take away from the seriousness of the conversation just because I'm really animated and I'm excited about it today, because this is something that we really have to deal with as Black people, and this is not no laughing matter. This is not a game. Now we need to be on alert right now. If now, not more than ever than any time in the history of modern day, we got to be on code. So let's go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
See, this is why we need, oh, yes, y'all, please, because we're going to get our asses kicked if we don't say this. Somebody say, text the word Queens. I want you to put in the comments. Somebody, and I'm not going to go on until you put in the comments, text Queens to 87948. Somebody put in the comments, text Queens to just put 87948 in the comments. Somebody do that so that we can move on. Please, right now, text put 87948 in the comments. It's 1,000 of you guys on here right now. Somebody put 879. There we go. Okay, now we can move on. So first of all, Vanessa, I love how you came with the receipts, and I love how you talked about it from a historical perspective, because that's what we need to really understand. But the main thing that you said that I really fucks with is the fact that nobody is going to save us, Black people. Nobody is coming to save us. And that's what y'all need to realize, that this guise that we had up on DEI and affirmative action, it was just all smoke and mirrors. It was all smoke and mirrors to keep us quiet. And we've been, these somber little humble, people that have just kind of been doing whatever they said. We've been asking for our handouts. They've been giving us our handouts. We've been getting the social services and we get our welfare. Not all of us, but some of us. We're dependent on the government. And when you understand that nobody's coming to save you, when they pull that rug off from under you, you're going to really see it. So if you don't get information right now, you're going to be in trouble when the shit hits the fan. Athena, what do you think about this motherfucker saying he was going to give RFW?
Listen, I want a RFW t-shirt, honey. I want to see how many white people. That might be a good way to weed out who not really.
Listen, we'll just put it on the internet and we'll do it anonymously, and then we'll see like all the people, reparations for white, make America great again. Girl,
actually, you might make a bunch of white friends wearing that type of t-shirt. You might make a bunch of white friends wearing that t-shirt.
No, we ain't gonna wear it. We're gonna sell it to them and we're gonna make millions of dollars from it. Then we gonna
That's how we get our own reparations, y'all. We have to get these businesses and get back to them what they want, honey. And get our reparations that way. Apparently, because Trump ain't trying to give us, ain't trying to cut the check this way like we need it to be. When I first saw that video, I was, I think my first reaction was laughing, because I was just like, this is just ridiculous. I'm glad he used his word choice very carefully. He said restitution, because I think if he would have said reparation, people would have went through the roof. But what I want to say about this situation is exactly what Vanessa sentiments were, which is that for me personally, I am not paying attention to what is going on the internet. And to be honest with you, for me, I don't know if it's what's in my feed or my ecosphere, but it just seems to me all I've seen is just mostly Black women being upset that Kamala didn't win. And I don't want to take away from the frustrations as a group that we may feel. However, we need to move forward. We need to decide, like Vanessa said, what are the policies? What are the things coming down the line that we need to consider? How I can line up and get in where I fit in, right? What are going to be this administration's goals, which we know is going to be immigration, harsher crime penalties. Elon is going to have a lot of influence in government, AI, tech, and all of that. So how do I line up my investments, my business, my life, to ride the positive aspects of this wave versus crying over things that we cannot change?
Baby, hold on. We're going to get to there, though. I want to talk about what you thought about what he had to say about reparations for white people. We're going to talk about a resolution in a minute. I know you try to get to Z, I know you got the solution to the problem. But I want to say, what is your sentiments on the idea of this motherfucker saying he wants reparations for white people?
What I will say, too, since we're talking about it, is exactly what you said, Constance. Like, look, when power comes through, they don't give a damn about policy, history, whatever. They're going to do what they want to do, versus we have to like play this game and not say, oh, I'm here to really give reparations for my people. Trump is not even in office yet, and he's giving out videos on exactly what he want to do. He letting everybody know up front, listen, come that day when I got to sign in because we're keeping my seat warm, this is what I'm planning to do, okay? So I think we also need to take note of when we truly have power, or what power looks like, is the ability to influence and make change quickly.
Yeah. And one of the things you said, Athena, was about, us, like, we're mad, we're upset, Black women, and we have this sort of fatigue right now. I know I have the fatigue, the get somebody else to do it. Fuck all y'all. Fuck y'all. We've been breastfeeding your babies. We was your mammies. We took care of your household. Now we taking care of you. We take care of every aspect. We out there on the front lines marching for Black men. We do all of these things for America. And this one time you guys had the chance to support us, you showed up in droves and went the other way. And so there's a sort of fatigue of this, get somebody else to do it. I'm tired of shit. And so what do you say about that, Dr. Charm? Like, how are you feeling? And I know you weren't a big Kamala fan. I know you weren't a Trump fan, but like, what are you feeling about this, the sort of energy around where Black women are feeling right now post this election?
Well, I think, I'm really concerned about everyone's mental health with all this going on, because we are already in a lot of ways dealing with mental health crises just nationally. And so you have something like this, a precipitating event, and then it may trigger some people. Like, there was this man, I mean, he was not a Black man, but he killed his wife, his children, and his ex-wife, and after the election results.
Oh.
Now, people can't go and blame the election results on this. Obviously, this man was struggling with mental health issues, and this was something that just was a trigger for him, but he already had some serious mental health issues if this is what he chose to do, commit suicide and homicide. But I have to just say, for everyday folks who are, not to that extreme, it can create a lot of anxiety. I mean, election night, I had people texting me at 4:00 in the morning. Everybody's online. We're trying to see what was happening. People, it's affected everyone's lives, especially when it comes to belief systems. We have our beliefs. People believe, a lot of people believed in Kamala. A lot of people believed in Trump. A lot of people had their candidates. Like, they put, that's the great thing about this country, is that we are so passionate about the political process. I think that's a wonderful thing. However, from a mental health perspective, I think people just need to step back a little bit, maybe stay from offline, take some rest breaks, practice some self-care, because you have to be able to filter this into something that you can do, actionable things that you can do. And sitting and being online and just commiserating together is not going to be helpful in the long run.
I agree. Thank you for that. What do you think about it? Since we're talking about mental health, Dr. Joe, what do you think about Black woman fatigue post the election, and what should we do about it?
What do I think about it? I think it's
Mm-hmm.
justified and easily validated, for one. I mean, and I'm glad to see the things that I'm seeing where Black women are saying, all right, we did what we could, we're gonna sit it out. You know what I mean? Like, I get a little bit of, serotonin hits when I see that, because because I mean, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired, and I can't see, this situation being about anything other than what it was about, which was like just a serenade to white supremacy. And once again, us telling, Black women, regardless. I mean, just we can all, there's criticisms of Kamala. I get it. I'm not with it, but I get it. But if you just put it on paper and hold these two people up next to each other,
That part, doctor.
of qualifications, it's not even close. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about policy. We're not talking about any of that. I don't want to hear that, because it's not what it's about. And any mention of trying to make it about that, to me, is just a form of gaslighting. And, I know enough about, just being a Black man, a Black person in general, to know that Black women are tired of being gaslit. And you can say what you want about me saying that, but I mean, that's a real thing. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that's not a real thing. That's happening, and it's happening at an extreme rate during this political season. It was insane, the amount of gaslighting we did. Not we, the amount of gaslighting that I observed of Black women during this time. So, Dr. Charm is 100% right. We need to be focused on self-care and making sure that we are, because we have to live, right? We have to live through this regardless. It happened. There is no reverse. I know everybody's looking for the conspiracy that's going to flip this over, but it ain't coming. Like Vanessa said, no one's coming to save you. So we have to live through this. So what do we need to be talking about? Self-care and how we're going to get through this, how we're going to survive, because we can't just drive off the cliff. So what are we doing?
Yeah, that's kind of where we at. It's like drive off the cliff or get somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck what you talking about. Fuck what you heard. What for me, it was like, I see you. We've seen them. We've seen them since the inception. We've been seeing them, but it's like, no, y'all really speaking. Y'all really telling us how much y'all don't fuck with us. Noted. We'll talk about it more when we come back from vacation.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
I just came back from vacation, y'all. Where y'all at? Y'all, I'm in Belize right now.
Puerto Rico.
You in Puerto Rico? All right, bet.
Puerto
All right.
Rico.
The hair is giving. Athena, what do you think about the idea of Black women saying, fuck this, get somebody else to do it? I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out.
Listen, it's about time. It is about time. Listen, I'm tired of seeing Black women muling, falling down, trying to save everybody. You know, I am not about no ride or die, lover secretary, Mary J. Blige, struggle, nothing. That has never been my MO. That has never been, you know.
That ain't your ministry. That's not your ministry.
That ain't my ministry. Hashalaboya. That ain't, wait, where am I? Hashalaboya. That has never been my ministry. So I feel like Black women need to focus on themselves like they're supposed to. Let the men lead, like they say they claim. They the leaders, they the head, they all this, other that. You know, right, Joe? Let the men do what they say they're supposed to do. Let white supremacy, all these white people do what they're supposed to do. Obviously, we are not needed for anything. So we should be directly focusing our energy on ourselves, our family, and the things that are going to uplift and support us. And everybody can hold their own nuts like a squirrel and figure out what they want to do.
Word of the day. Hold your own nuts like a squirrel. Gwen, make sure you put that on a banner.
Joe, did we lose you on that one, or was I too hard?
He's dead. He's dead. Oh my God, Vanessa, what do you think?
Oh man, so yes, I'm with that, Athena. I'm with that movement. I agree with everything that everybody said. I think that we've seen a tradition of Black women just kind of grabbing everyone and really taking on the burden of carrying everyone. And it's tiring. Like, even when I'm on social media, if I see something and it says under the comments, Black women, the "this don't concern us" button, hit here. I see a bunch of likes on that. So I'm happy that we're in a place where we're just focused on other things. Because the reality is that our attention and our focus should be going towards us, our mental health, our well-being, our families, our communities. And I think that because we've seen how significant and strong Black women are, I think when we really pull out and we just start doing those things, I think that we will be better overall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I haven't seen the videos of the white women with the blue bracelets saying we're in solidarity with you, Black women. I haven't seen the videos, but I saw a white woman saying, "Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit." Like, they don't need you to wear a fucking blue bracelet. They needed your support on election day. Have you guys seen that? Like, the white women saying, "We're in support. We have a blue bracelet and we're in solidarity with you, sisters." Have you seen that? When they go in the polls, they vote for Trump. Yeah. That's the thing that pisses me off, because they want to smile in your face, and then they do what's best for them.
The backstabbers.
Hey man. And so when we look at what the Democrats do, because it's very clear, it's extremely clear what the Republican and the Democratic Party are two very different parties. And like Dr. Joe said, it's like when you look at the candidates, apples to apples. They're very different people. And so we didn't vote on the who was most qualified. It was simply about race and gender. That's what this campaign came down to, was because this man got on there and said all kind of crazy shit, but it was really about race and gender. So as we go forward and we're seeing, how the Democrats are operating as opposed to how the Republicans operate, do you think Black people are going to do something different when it comes to voting and when it comes to the polls? Are we seeing things differently? Vanessa, I'm going to start with you. What do you think this is going to do for Black people and how we vote going forward?
Well, I think I hopefully it'll encourage. I think all Black people should be independent voters, right? I think that we should, because I think that's the only, like, I think we do have a better chance of the Democratic bringing forth reparations. But if they just assume that they're always going to get our vote and they don't have to work for it, then they have no reason to bring forth something that is specifically designed for us. So I think once you see a shift in a movement of Black people unregistering themselves as Democrat, they're going to say, "Holy, what? Wait a minute. We're losing a big part of our voter base. What do they need to come back? What do they need to vote for us?" Because I feel like they haven't done a significant job in really speaking directly to their base. And as we've seen the other candidate, Trump, that's exactly what he does. And you know what? The Democrats are so scared. They operate, I don't know, they kind of operate in like this soft area where you see Republicans just saying whatever they feel, going hard in the paint. They stand firm on things that they stand for, even if it's extreme, right? A lot of us look at it and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe he or she said that. Oh my God. But one thing, they're standing firm on it because they're speaking to their base. So I think the Democrats should use this as a learning lesson. I think that we as Black people should unregister ourselves as Democrats, register ourselves as independents. And I think whatever party is offering the best solutions for the Black community, I think that's where our vote should go. And we should be voting on policy and not on this ideology of like, oh, Democrats, Republicans. I mean, because if you look at the history politically, more people used to be conservative. Like the conservative policies used to be more aligned with like beneficial to the Black community, but it's kind of, it shifted over the years and now it's just in a place of like, oh, whatever, we'll just get their vote because we're Democrats.
Mhm.
So that's my
Yeah.
opinion of
I
it.
mean, if you don't vote for us, you ain't Black. That's the only thing that we got from Democrats is we ain't Black if we don't vote for them. They ain't say nothing about no policies. They ain't make no laws for us. And they got the Asian hate bill. We ain't get no reparations. We not talking about, they tell us to our face. We're not going to talk about no reparations with you fool. Fuck you think you, hell no. But your Black ass is going to go down to the polls and you're going to vote for us anyway. So I hope that there's something that should shift in the way that we think about how we do things. Doesn't mean we don't have to vote Democrat or whatever, but Dr. Charm, what do you think this is going to do for people since, like Vanessa said, they go so hard in the paint on their people, Republicans, and Democrats are pussies, straight up.
Well, I think that there's a very, very large group of welfare queens that exists in the society at this point in time. And that group is the Democratic Party. Because the stereotypical welfare queen receives her checks and benefits and she don't get up and go to work. These Democrats received that Black vote, always knew that they were going to get it, didn't do anything for it nominally, and they didn't have to go out and get a job. So now they're having a wake-up call. 25% of Black men voted for Trump. So it's a wake-up call. It's a growing pain. It's a harsh wake-up call, but you can't continue to practice a policy of benign neglect, because that is the current policy that is the law of the land when it comes to Black people. And this is dating back to the 70s. We're going to act like we care, but our policies are going to, our lips will say that we care, but our actions will be not. We will not do anything tangible for Black people. And that is benign neglect. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that amongst other scholars. And that's what it is. And so, no, they need to get what Ike say. And what's love got to do? Get the molasses out your ass, Anna Mae.
We really do. It's time for us to stop being so monolithic and being sheeple and doing what we think. Because you think about this, Dr. Joe. They've lumped everybody else's civil rights along with us. So then it waters down our civil rights. It waters down our struggle that we fought for. We've been oppressed for 400 years, basically. And then we want to add everybody else. We want to be people of color, and we want to add gay rights, and we want to add everybody else. And so then what happens is what we have or what we've gone through is no longer important. And they've taken that for granted, in my opinion. So, Dr. Joe, what do you think is going to be the sentiments of Black people going forward in their thinking? Because I know it changed when I saw that. He wants to give RFW. Immediately, it made me mad at the Democrats. Now, I was defending them at first. I was defending them throughout this we had some heated debates on here. You was Dr. Charm. You was like, listen. fuck them. But, you know, I was like defending them. But now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, these people, they going hard for their people. And these people, obviously they can do it. Nobody's going hard for us. And we're not holding anybody accountable. So what is that saying about us going forward, Dr. Joe? Do you think people will start looking a little bit differently at the Democratic Party and how they're representing us?
I do. I have hope based on what I'm observing right now that people are going to start looking at this and being less afraid to call it out for what it is, right? Okay, that's white supremacy. We can say that out loud. In the past, we get afraid to say that because what happens? You're pulling a race card again, and you get gaslight to believe that something you're actually looking at and you're factually looking at isn't exactly what it actually is. This is what it is. This is what happens. And I think more and more people are going to be comfortable with calling it out for exactly what it is instead of aspiring towards whiteness. Now, that's just my hope because that's the way I'm feeling. That's what I'm observing. And I think that it's just going to grow. And especially with how emboldened, he got on TV and just basically said, I'm going to give restitution to white people for all their struggles with all these illegal DEI. So the more and more people are going to be emboldened to say those, I believe that you're going to find that Black people are going to be more ready to be like, okay, let's really call this out for what it is. That's racist. That's racist. That's racist. I'm not going back and forth with you about it. It is what it is, and that's what we're doing. And we got to stop doing that to each other too. Aspiring towards whiteness. I remember when I was a teacher and I had to coach. One of the policies for doing that was I had to shave off my facial hair, right? And it was just the whitest thing ever. Like I don't trust a Black man without a beard or a mustache or no type of facial hair. So I had to and then we go into spaces and we try to like force or talk about each other's dress code and how we're appearing. We got to stop doing that to each other so that we can combat this thing as a unit. And recognize that, I think somebody said it in the warm up that white ice is not colder. It's just not colder. All right. So I'm with you. I think we're gonna turn a corner behind this. I really do believe that.
We got to.
Really quick. Let me say something really quick. I think the most like astonishing. Because I said I'm not surprised, but Trump said DEI initiatives, diversity and equity, is anti-American. Like he said that. That's quoted. If you look, he says it's anti-American. If a person shows you consistently who they are, believe them. He's showing you exactly who he is. He always says it. So once again, he's speaking directly to his base. Listen, white people, I understand that they want equity. We know that's anti-American. So I feel like we have to wake up and we have to save ourselves. We have to start investing in our own Black businesses, and we have to get the Black dollar. What you say, Constance, on one of the last shows, 1 year during segregation, the Black dollar circulated. We got to at least aim for that because that's going to be the power. Even if we, unregister ourselves as independents, as Democrats to independents, wait till that $1.8 trillion stops being spent with these corporations. Ooh, I think you'll really see some changes. Policies from both sides. We're gonna give y'all reparations. We can't afford that. We need y'all money.
100%. Money talks, bullshit walks. But we got to go to commercial. But Wayne Johnson said this past election proved there is no Black and brown coalition. Say that for the people in the back. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and review so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
So Athena, I didn't get to let you talk about that last question about, the sentiments of where we are, but I do want to ask you, because we talked about, the idea of getting reparations. Maybe it's not in the form that most of us think that we should get them, but I know that you had a list. We can't hear you though, sweetie.
Listen, because I'm always about solutions, right? And even though some people think I shouldn't even get reparations,
Heather,
because I am from Jamaica originally, even if that was the case, I would still want you guys to get reparations. Hater. But anyways, what I want you guys to talk about is if we were to ask for reparations, I think we should have free state tuition for every Black child. Right? Because one of the biggest issues to wealth or even home ownership is student loan debt. Cancellation of all student loan debt. So if you Black and you have federal student loans, those need to go out the window.
Wait a minute. Here, cancellation of all student loan debt. Here. Everybody cheer.
Yay! So that could increase not only the eligibility to own a home, also, we should have our own federal housing loans designated for us at a low percentage rate and a low down payment percentage.
Hold on. Low down payment loan. Yay! Low interest rate. Woo! Yay! Okay.
We don't have no loans at all.
Grant, I wish.
Just give us our 40 acres.
Let's put that in a wish to have bucket. Okay. Grants for Black home ownership, business loans, federal. I know we have federal contracting set aside for us, but even increase that, and also a check for every Black household. I feel like that's what we should be asking.
What kind of check?
I don't know the amount, but everybody needs to have their own check. Everyone needs to have their own check.
Okay.
Just straight cash. Straight cash. Just like how the IRS deposit, just like how we got them stimmy checks, no problem. Clearly, they have the infrastructure to do it. They should be able to send us our money directly to our account.
Okay, so let me ask you, Dr. Charm, if you could pick something for reparations that you think Black people should have, what would it be? And for the audience too, what do you guys think too, as we are having this discussion? Because y'all might have some good ideas. But Dr. Charm, what do you think?
I think that, I'm agreeing with some of the Nation of Islam, just being able to have like land for people who do want to separate. There are people who do want to separate. So designated land, I think we should have a freedman designated status, like a tax exempt. I don't think we should have to pay federal income taxes or state income taxes. We should not have to have any type of housing loans at all. We shouldn't have to have any kind of loans. And then of course, then there's cash reparations. And then I think also it should be put into programs in addition to cash, because everybody seems to want to say programs, but no, cash, tax exempt status, and programs that would filter into financial literacy, mental health, healthcare. We should have free healthcare, just like the Native Americans do. I worked at the Indian hospital for a while, and if they're using because they can get private insurance and everything, but then if they want to use the Indian health system, their healthcare is completely free. So we should be able to have that. Okay. So yeah, those are the things that's my reparations wish list for sure.
Okay, good stuff. All right, what about you, Joe? What are you thinking?
I want to talk about anything that helps balance the system, because like I said, I always say systematically it's unbalanced and it's unfair. And I don't know, I'm not smart enough to tell you off the top of my head what that is. I like a lot of the things that Athena said. But at the end of the day, I do read from the Bible of Wu-Tang, and I know that cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money.
Dollar bill,
dollar bill, y'all.
Okay, I love it. I love the book of Wu-Tang. That verse is one of my favorite. Vanessa, what are your thoughts on what are your reparations wish list?
Real estate, for sure. I don't think that we should have any real estate loans. I think that we should be offered a real estate grant. So, even if that's $500,000, and I think we should be exempt indefinitely from paying property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that we should be able to go to school for free, period. And for the people that have taken out student loans, those should be instantly canceled. So I think that you eliminate two big barriers. Equity, one, right? Real estate is instant equity. Most people that are that are millionaires, they're millionaires from real estate. So
Yeah.
I think you're passing down generational wealth once you get someone in a home ownership, and then you eradicate the property taxes, because now you have nothing to, nothing to set you up for failure.
Right.
So I don't think that I think that every Black person should be entitled to a housing grant of either $500,000 or more. And I think that we shouldn't do property taxes, and we should be able to go to school for free. That includes graduate school, postgraduate school, and we shouldn't be responsible for any student loan debt. I think that's I think that's a great setup.
It is. It is. It's funny because what we worked the land free. They got rich off of slavery from 1619 to 1865. And then, the privatized prisons and the federal government got free off of slave labor from 1865 up until now, right? Through the prison system. So they have billions and trillions of dollars of free labor. And we were owed 40 acres and a mule. I don't know what that's equivalent to financially today. But then in 1862, they had the Homestead Act of 1862, which was a law that allowed white people to claim 160 acres of land for a small filing fee. So not only did they get 250 years of free labor, then they were able to get 260 acres of land for absolutely free. And so for them to believe that we don't deserve anything when they not only got free labor, then they got free land after in 1862, 2 years before the Emancipation Proclamation. So now they're sitting on this land, and we know the number one way to build wealth is through what? Real estate. So they have this intergenerational wealth that they've been able to pass on to their children's children.
Mhm.
And then they say that we're begging. And then you hear people like Dr. Phil that says reparations for Black people would be disastrous, is what he said. So the whole idea of them saying that we don't deserve it because I didn't benefit from slavery. I didn't own any slaves. When you clearly did, you might have squandered your inheritance, but it doesn't mean that you didn't benefit from it.
Absolutely. The thing that everybody talks about, oh, we weren't enslaved, X, Y, and Z, but nobody talks about the GI Bill.
Mhm.
If people really wanted to have a practical, like to start somewhere with something that's reparatory that could be proven, is all those Black men that fought in World War I, II, Vietnam, these wars, and were denied the use of their GI Bill. That's able to be documented. They have documented descendants. I mean, and that's something that's even more recent. They could start with that because my grandfather was in the Korean War. And then we got World War II veterans so that's something that can be proven. How come our folks haven't even considered that? Because we fought in those wars.
Yeah, my dad fought in Vietnam. They would not let him, and he never used his GI Bill. They wouldn't let it transfer. I actually sent a letter it was under the Obama administration, saying like, listen, I know you guys are doing that for 9/11 where you can transfer it, but no, you need to go back and retroactive make this possible, because the people that served in the military for those previous wars, Black men, should be able to pass that down to their children.
Amen. So there's been so many ways where we need to be repaired as Black people, and for them to say, equity will be too much like fair, right? It will be too much like right. Like why be fair? We love to have the upper hand. We love to be able to benefit from the things and keep them from it, because doing the right thing would be too much like fair, and America wasn't built on fairness. But let's shift gears. Let's talk about Ms. Kamala Harris, and her campaign, and the whole idea that they say that she's $20 million in debt. What does that mean? They say it's largely due to spending on celebrity endorsements. Now, this is definitely a staggering amount, and it raises questions about the priorities in politics. Is this uncommon? Are celebrity endorsements worthwhile investment? I mean, we see, she had Meg Thee Stallion, twerking on stage. We seen Beyonce, we saw Eminem, we saw all of these people. But did it help in any way? If you were in her position, would you have invested that amount in celebrity endorsements? And what are your thoughts about that, Joe?
You can't even answer that. I definitely can't answer that. If I was in her position, she was the first Black woman to run for the highest office in the land. And she had 3 months to do it, right? So this is not me making excuses. This is me like stating facts. It's a factual situation. If I was in her position, anybody that says if I was in her position, it's cap. It's all cap. How would anybody of us possibly know what it was like to be in her position? She was the first. Okay. So she put some cracks in that ceiling again. Now, if she was to come back and make those same mistakes and do those same things again, if we can call them mistakes or we just call them choices that didn't pan out, I don't know. But I'm not going to talk about what I would do in her position. I think that's disingenuous, and you're not going to get me to do that right now. I'm not doing that.
Amen, brother. All right, what do you think, Dr. Charm?
I just think it's sad because I mean we're already dealing with an economy that's unstable, and so you've got people that they didn't get their final paychecks for their last 2 weeks of pay on the Kamala campaign, but the celebrities got money. So it wasn't wise to spend in the way that she spent. I mean, because I think it backfired. You pay all this money for Glorilla and Lizzo and Meg Thee Stallion. I mean, I think Beyonce, that was probably smart to use that because she has such a huge following and she's crossover appeal. But some of these other ones, you spend all this money and then they didn't. I think there was money that could have been spent towards ads for the undecided voters instead of these celebrities. And I think it really did backfire. No one should work on someone's campaign and not be able to get their last paycheck. So you're already dealing with, hey, we're disheartened because she lost and we were on her team and we worked really hard. But the least consolation that you could get is to get your check. So, there's just a lot of everybody's starting to spill the beans now about what's happened behind the scenes. And, they're saying allegedly the Obamas are not taking her calls. And so, that they're saying that the Obamas are not taking her calls. Her camp has been trying to get in touch with them and they didn't. There was rumors that when Joe Biden announced, basically Nancy Pelosi and Obama said, Joe, we don't want you to run because of the perception of senility. And they had Gavin Newsom and these other guys, these other people on the list. And Joe said his final FU was when he spoke out over the weekend, he, name dropped Kamala. And the rumor is that, and this isn't just some rumor out of the atmosphere. This is what people are saying that worked on these campaigns and things, said that wasn't anyone's choice, but Joe kind of did his little retaliation and put her name out there. And so then they had to go with it. But regardless of all of that, we're here now and they need to pay them people.
Pay them people. Hey, put that on the shirt, Joe. Pay them people. Athena, what do you think about the whole idea of this $20 million debt of this campaign?
Well, what I think is that, Beyonce got paid $10 million, Meg Thee Stallion got paid $5 million. I think, a lot. What I'm reading is that the directive was to spend to zero, to just drain out the whole fund. So I guess they overestimated their expenses. And I think we have a video about that. What I think we can all learn from this experience is that voters are becoming more sophisticated. The Democratic was an incumbent party that had an issue because people were already frustrated with the economy, with immigration, and feeling disenfranchised. And instead of Kamala actually drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, I know this current administration that I'm actually a part of are not meeting the American needs, but under my own campaign, under my directive, this is the plan to address the issues that we currently have. If she would have focused more on strategy and catering to her base in that way, she would have been more effective with the dollars that she did have. I was getting a bunch of emails asking for money from Kamala's campaign. And I was like, what? She already got $1 billion. You don't know how to budget, girl? Like what is going on? Now with the other party, Trump has his own funds and he has his billionaire friends. So maybe he had more padding for his coffers. So maybe, he had more money available. But we also don't know what his campaign was run like. But I do think that a lot was dropped in this situation. Now, my last thought is this, that with Kamala, right, she only had a short period to galvanize. So maybe within that short period, a lot was missed because there wasn't enough time to plan.
Okay, well, if that's what you say. Should the celebrities give it back? Should
They
Beyonce
know.
do Beyonce really need that $10 million? Especially if you said people ain't getting their last 2 weeks of they check.
They're not giving their money back.
Yeah, I would say they're not giving it back.
I mean, it's 10 million. I mean, Beyonce got $100 million in the bank. Does she really need that 10 million? And people can't feed their families.
Beyonce had to gas up that jet. She had to put this pantsuit on. She had to put some sacred on her tresses and locks and get it together. She had to pay for Kelly's big oversized suit. So no, she's not going to get that money back, and she should not.
Oh God, you are crazy. So Vanessa, what about? Okay, so we know about Kamala's spending. What about Trump's?
So yeah, I mean, really quick, I think that we are being a little bit delusional. I mean, 107 days to get across your word across the country, right? That's what you have versus this man has been campaigning for 4 years. It's unequivocally unfair. And I think they did a lot of things to try and use the people's fame to reach their fan base and use advertisements from like people like Beyonce, Glorilla, Lizzo. Do I think she would have ran that same strategy if she would have had enough time to really galvanize people? I don't think so. But you know, with Trump, I feel like we talk about money. So Trump tried to pay 50 Cent $3 million to perform, right? He declined it. He also tried to pay Rihanna, Pharrell, Adele, Elton John, all declined, right? I tried to look up the numbers on the FEC filings for what they were offering them. They weren't available. But let's not forget that he also paid Logan Paul. He paid Adine Ross millions of dollars, which were undisclosed. They were not disclosed to the FEC. Additionally, during his campaign in 2020, there was $17.9 million allocated to his direct properties, which came up as ethical conversations. So while we're looking at this Black, beautiful, qualified queen, whether you like her or not, she is way more qualified than Donald Trump. I feel like, Kamala's failure is not necessarily just attributed to her. It's attributed to the party that she was behind. They kind of set her up to fail. And so I feel like that's a common thing too, why Black women are tired, is because you want to put us at the forefront and you don't want to do the work. She's done all the work. Like in terms of qualifications, there is nobody that she's more qualified than when Obama ran for office, in addition to all the white presidents that we've had. She served on 3 different levels of government. So pound for pound, if we're talking about qualifications, alone, the Democratic Party set her up for failure. It's just not, we just not gonna just say, oh, she failed on her own. Nope, I disagree with that. But we got to look at also, Donald Trump has spent a lot of money that has also should raise some flags as well. So it's not like, I think that when you're running a political campaign, you're going to get money gets spent. That's just the reality of it. Like, I think that he had a lot more time to develop his strategy, and that's what it boils down to. And I think that hers was kind of rushed, and they threw a Hail Mary. That's what it was. It was a Hail Mary.
So you think that they were doomed from the beginning?
I just think that it was a far stretch, a Black woman running for president with 107 days in America, like for sure a far stretch. That's right. We didn't even give her, she didn't even have enough time. I thought that was so irresponsible of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
how they did that.
Biden was out there. I'm telling you, he was out there petting people. He was just out of his mind. And it's like, are you really going to have this man out here trying to really run for president? And this man don't know where the fuck he is. It was crazy. And, when you talked about all the people who turned Trump down, Chrisette Michelle is a good friend of mine. And she got canceled because she went ahead and took that dough the last go round. So I think people probably were smart because she just like a couple of years ago, just got back in people's good graces. Like she was like so long, and it was a gospel artist also. They both performed there. He went unscathed, and they just, reamed her a new one. And it was sad because I really do believe she did it with the best intentions. She probably didn't respond right. When people told her not to, she said, I'm gonna do it anyway. But she probably shouldn't have. But then that also, it leads me to wonder, because one of the things that I saw before we got on here was Van Lathan. That's his name, right? What's his name? Van Jones. Van Jones. Van Jones was saying, you got to forgive people on the other side because their algorithm is not your algorithm. Did y'all see that? He said their algorithm is not your algorithm. They're not seeing the same things you're seeing. You as a Democrat or whatever you're seeing, you're only seeing the worst side of the other people, and they're only seeing the worst side of your candidate. So we really should, reach across the aisle and kind of, just forgive the people because, they don't really know how bad their person is because they're not seeing the same things that we're seeing. What do you think about that, Dr. Charm? Do you think that, because it's propaganda and people there's this huge level of fear because of people, because of the propaganda?
I mean, there definitely is a lot of fear going on. I mean, here's the thing. Kamala Harris has the lowest approval rating of any vice president since they started polling. She did not win her own primary. She didn't do well in her primary when she ran. She just was not the right candidate. And that was the problem, which, some people say, well, you don't have the sources as far as, this allegation that Joe did this out of spite. I can believe it because everybody's talking about Gavin Newsom. And so the thing is that you put up somebody, she could, you give her 120 days or 100, however many days, somebody who has the lowest approval rating of any vice president since they started polling it. And then you put they are a person of color of two different mixed races that are non-white. And then you put them up. It's just too many things. And so I think it made it ripe for propaganda to take place. Again, propaganda is considered to be legal. And I found the citation because you were asking me, Constance, about how was it? It was from, there was a War Act in 1948, and I have.
What are you talking about? What are you referring to?
When we were talking about that Obama signed to renew about propaganda that he allowed when he was in office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that came from there was an act in 1948, and I have to look it up, but it outlawed propaganda because remember that's when all that McCarthyism in World War II was going on, and it was one of the sections of one of the military acts that he actually signed that reversed that 1948 law that outlawed propaganda. So propaganda is legal in the media, and everybody utilizes it. It's psychological operations, and unfortunately, we get caught up. Racism is very real, and we get caught up a lot in race. I think this country deliberately festers racial issues when it ignores a lot of things to do with class. And someone said famously that the lowest white man who's being oppressed economically, as long as he's above a black man, he will cling to his racism. So that's Bacon's Rebellion.
Lyndon B. Johnson said that.
Yeah. So, Bacon's Rebellion, where, Bacon's Rebellion took place in the 1600s, where the slaves, the Indians, the white people that were settlers and colonial folks got together, and they were like, we finna ride up on all these high class people. And that's when you start to see these laws come down where they can't get together like that.
Yeah, we got to break them up by race.
You got to break it up by race. And so, yeah, I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. It definitely is. It's the law of the land here. But it's overly emphasized, and we're overly agitated by race when the classism is probably the bigger issue.
I agree because what happens is you have the lower socioeconomic people who are fighting over race, right? And then you got the people who got all the money. All they're doing is pulling the strings because they want them to fight and be distracted so they can get all the money and they can keep all the power. It's crazy, man. We out here, talking about, they own the black people and the white people. And it's like all they care about in power is green. And that's why, Vanessa, is so important that we have these PACs, because at the end of the day, money changes laws, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, that's what the society we live in. These corporations, these PACs that come together, they're the ones really influencing politicians to vote and create policies that, work in their favor, which is, why it's going to be interesting, this new administration, because Elon is supposed to be, and Athena, I know you wanted to mention this. Elon has been, he's supposed to be heavily involved in this administration. So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Athena, talk about what the position that Trump gave to Elon.
Yes. So Trump is saying that Elon is going to be the head of the Department of Government Deficiency, along with I forgot what the other dude's name
I feel
is.
like he's like the t-shirts is gonna be lit. And did he say that? Elon said that the t-shirt is gonna be lit.
Oh.
With Vivek Ramaswamy, Athena.
Yeah, yes. That person.
So what does that mean?
That means Elon is gonna have more influence in government, because I don't know what the government efficiency department is. I think that's a whole new department, no? Like I've never heard of that. So
I've never heard of that either.
yeah,
You
so,
gotta forge
whatever
out
they
Africa.
decide, however they decide they want to make it efficient. Maybe because Elon is in tech and they feel like, one thing the government can improve is its technology and processes. So let's be clear. But I'm interested to see what that looks like, because I guess Trump is giving out his own form of reparations by hiring people who he likes. So like even Tom Homan, former ICE head, returns as Trump's border czar. So it's basically putting people who supported him in his campaign or who support certain ideologies are going to be in government and having influence.
Yeah, this is great. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
One
Go
thing
ahead.
I can say though that I am appreciative is that sometimes I feel like this was an election where we needed to see, like you see all them Latinos came out and they voted for Trump, and you saw like just different parties who we thought, like you said, black and brown. Oh, you thought wrong. But I think that it's important because I mean the sacrifices that our predecessors made before us. I mean, I mentioned this in last week's podcast, is immigrants and other populations do not know anything about those sacrifices. They don't know what it's like to take upon a racist nation. They don't know about the boycotts. They don't know about, my dad walked to school and there was black people hanging on trees in a time in Selma, Alabama, where they were still lynching black people just openly, hanging off trees, walking to school. So the sacrifices that were made, for people like him coming into this country and and really fighting and going to jail and getting beaten and abused, and then taking the American justice system to court just so that we could vote. I mean, and then to have these people come in and be like, well, we don't care. We're voting. We see a black woman. I mean, even if it is like that's all you see, we're voting against that. So I feel like they're not educated about anything that we've done in history. And so I think that was a wake-up call for us, is once again, no one is coming to save us. If we don't come together, if we don't spend our money with each other, if we don't start really being intentional about building our community, we're going to be in a bad position, because nobody, the different groups of people that we thought were, oh, maybe they're for us, they're like us. No, they're not. So wait, we just need to wake up.
Yeah, no, for real. So it's so funny because I really wanted to stick it to the white supremacists by having Kamala win. I really did. I just wanted to just I just wanted right. That was like really my get back. And so, I kind of got to just I can't even look at them right now in their face. It's like when you lost a fight and you just knew you was gonna kick their ass, and they end up whooping your ass on the playground, and you just like, I can't even look at them right now. It's gonna take me a couple weeks to shake this off, then I'm come back stronger than ever. And so I think that's now I feel like, okay, black people, this is the greatest time, because we gotta look at his glasses half full. This is the greatest time post-slavery to be alive, because I think this has to be an awakening. You guys, please let this be an awakening for us. I pray that we could come together. But let me ask you all, what do we do now? How do we move forward to make the best of what we're seeing right now, Dr. Charm? This is your final thought, and then where can they find you?
Okay, yeah. Was that Malcolm said? I don't know I can't remember which leader, but when white people get a cold, black folks get the flu. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, whomever's in office, we are still at the lowest rung economically. And, other groups are being put before us, even people who just got here, as just seen with this migrant crisis. And so at the end of the day, we've got to focus on the economy. We got to focus on a black economy. and continue to fight for reparations, because definitely government has a responsibility. Government is what allowed chattel slavery and allowed this economic system to be built. So I'm not one of those Black people who says, oh, we just need to do it by ourselves and concentrate on, group economics and not ask the government for a handout. No, it's a debt. It's owed. And we need to be able to still play towards that while building our economics. Dr. Boyce is always talking about crypto. The stock market with the election results, it had some really good days. Crypto is Bitcoin, as it was it trading like one of the highest levels like ever. So we got to concentrate on getting our economic lives together, and we cannot be afraid about who's in office, because at the end of the day, they're really on the same team. They're really on the same team. And on the propaganda thing, I meant to say it's the Smith-Mundt Act, because I want to give facts. The Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 outlawed the government being able to advertise or really do propaganda. And Obama signed something in 2012 called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. So that allows the government
Monk, M-O-N-K or M-O-N-T?
M-U-N-D-T, Smith-Mundt M-U-N-D-T Modernization Act of 2012 that reversed that. It modernized the Act of 1948, which directly outlawed government propaganda. And again, that was around that time we had the wars, and then you go into McCarthyism and all this kind of stuff. So it allows the government to be able to use the media as its arm to commit propaganda or propagate propaganda. So I just wanted to say that. And that's, it's scary. But on the other hand, we talked about that on our election stream, about that video that went around social media where all these anchors from all these different cities were saying the exact same script. So realize, you have to be able to filter your information. So I'm glad that we have other outlets like Fly Nubian Money to be able to get information, and everybody crack open the book. They aren't archaic. My name is Dr. Charm. I am a doctor, holistic health practitioner, stand-up comedian, and actress, and I have a show live this Saturday. If any of you, the family is out in Las Vegas, Saturday I will be at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, 7:30 p.m. show at the Keenan's Presents Pop-Up Comedy Fest. Y'all can go and get information on my IG at CharmGirl77. I did my latest commercial about post-election fatigue, so y'all go check out my latest skit at CharmGirl77 on my IG about post-election fatigue, because it's a real thing. I'm diagnosing everybody with it. And the cure for it is to come to my comedy show. And
we gotta laugh.
If you can't get to my show, turn on something that makes you happy and laugh.
Yeah. You know what? Dr. Charm could deliver your baby. She could act for you. She could tap dance, sing. She'll tell you a joke, and she will tell you your future, people. Listen. She is all things. She is a what do you call it? A true Renaissance woman.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Miss Athena, you good? You good over there, bro? You good?
Sorry, I'm hungry and I'm tired, but it's okay. It's okay.
Your vital thoughts,
we talked a lot today. We talked about Trump, proposing reparations for whites. And, we need to figure out our own reparations. And I want us to galvanize ourselves. And we gave a lot of good solutions on that. However, if you want to focus on your own personal reparations, meaning you getting what you deserve, regardless of who is sitting in that seat, because no president was going to make you rich anyway, you can find me and my information at wewealthwoman.com and at wewealthwoman. I have a workshop that's tomorrow, actually, from idea to income. And also I have the Wealthy Woman Shift for my ladies. That is all on my website that you can sign up for. And I hope everyone well, and let's focus on making the best of the situation.
All right. Thank you, darling. So amazing. So amazing. Joe, what you say? What we need to do, Joe? Help us. We need your help.
All right, it's time. Everybody come on in, sit on the couch. And after you get through venting, I want to talk to you about a couple things. The first thing is called cognitive distortion, right? And that is when we have irrational thoughts that kind of shape the way we view the world. And one of those cognitive distortions is fairness, right? Fairness is a cognitive distortion. It's not real. It's not something that you should actually expect, especially in a situation like this. And the other thing I want to talk to you about is gaslighting. And that's when basically statements are made to manipulate the way that you view your own reality. So between gaslighting and the cognitive distortion of fairness, you know, you have to recognize that the situation that we're in is the situation that we're in. It is not going to be fair. It's not designed to be fair. And also, you are witnessing exactly what you're witnessing. It is a real thing, and you should not allow anyone to make you believe that it's something other than what you're actually seeing with your own eyes. You've listened to all these intelligent women today spitting all of these facts. What they're saying is this stuff really happened. Okay. So when you recognize that one, this isn't fair, and but it is exactly what you're viewing, it is the reality, then you can weaken the hold that it has over you, and you can come into the situation and be less irritated by the fact that this is actually the thing, and then you can do whatever you need to do to move forward and advance your own life, or take action in your own little corner of the world. Okay, this is what we're at. This is the position that we're in, and this is how you handle it. Or you can just sit there and keep getting mad about it over and over again until you can't function. So that's what's up. If you got time to sit on the couch, hit realuconsulting.com. Send me an inquiry. We can do the 15-minute consult. If you don't have time to hit me on the couch, type my name in on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and get these little tidbits that I be dropping from here and there to try to help us get through the day. All right. I love y'all dearly. Take care of yourselves, please.
Amen. Good stuff. Thank you, Doc. Miss Vanessa, the queen of policy. What do we do? What's next for us?
Get off social media.
Mm.
Stop allowing it to trigger you, and get your emotions together. This is a battle that we need to win economically. So I'm going to say get 5 people. Get 5 people, and you guys figure out what your goals are, start a business, start figuring out how you can spend your money within other Black businesses. If you're in the Los Angeles area right now, there's a sister. She's creating a comprehensive Black database for businesses. Um, go on Instagram at me at Vigo Paul. That's VGOPAUL. I'll shoot you her info. Put your business on the list. Just get off social media. Quit letting this emotional state just ruin your day. Like it's triggering. And also, if you're in the Los Angeles area, I run a general contracting company. I'm a general contractor. If you need some work done in your house, hit me up. Also, I do international travel advisory. We're planning a trip to Africa in 2026. If you want to come, please come to my Instagram at Vigo Paul. Click my link, and I will send you some information about that. Y'all be blessed, be safe, stop being triggered by social media.
That's good.
Amen.
I think that's the biggest thing. And I must say for me, while I really, really was hoping for a Black woman to be president, I ain't gonna front. That was a dream. And I was hoping that America was ready. And it was for the betterment of us all. I thought she was a better candidate, but I also, I felt like America was ready. And to me, when the numbers came out the way they did, it just made me really disappointed, and it was like a reality hit, and it showed me that we are nowhere near where I thought that we were. The allies that I thought we had, we really don't have. And it's what I call this shit that's just been brewing underneath sugar for the last 50 years, while the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion and affirmative action were there. But it really was it was a band-aid. It was shit underneath sugar. And as we went on, it started coming up, and now it's reached the surface. And now the surface that the shit is Donald Trump. And now we smell the shit. And now what I hope happens is that Black Americans smell this shit and they wake up and we start to take action. I hope this shit is all up in your nostrils and it bothers you so much that you'll want to make change. I hope this shit changes your life. I hope this shit changes your family's life. I hope this shit changes the community. But the only way we can do that is stop taking up their ideals about I got mine, you get yours, this rugged individualism, this capitalism, and start thinking community. because the only way that we're going to get rid of the shit is if we do it ourselves. So only way we're going to do it is if we do it ourselves. So I say, let's get rid of the shit. And you think about what you can do proactively to change your life, to change your family, and change your community. Let's get rid of the shit. Y'all heard me? So for what I'm doing is I help Black women. I help Black women increase their net worth through the Net 7 Collective. We're getting rid of that shit. We changing the community that way. And then I'm also helping Black people, men and women, through the number one most important way to build wealth in this country is through real estate with the B1 Real Estate Mastery. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm showing them how to do it collectively. So we're not doing this rugged individualism. I'm showing them how to create businesses, joint venture partnership agreements, so we can do this shit together and we can change the narrative of our community. And then I have the Grow Your Money Club, which I show you how to really change your life holistically. Okay. So we got to just get rid of this shit, y'all. We got to recognize the shit. We got to smell the shit. And now it's up to us. Cause like Vanessa said, ain't nobody coming to save you, Black people. Nobody's coming to save you. We got to save ourselves. So hopefully y'all smell this shit that's brewing right now, because the shit is about to hit the fan. All right. So I thank you all. I thank y'all for joining us. And I love dialoguing with some of the most highly intellectually stimulating conversations and people in this nation that all appear right here on Fly Nubian Money. I know that you guys take time out your busy schedule to watch us in this hour, and we appreciate you. And guess what? We come live every single day, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We come live every day just to engage with you, because we want to talk to you about things that matter. So if you want to get notified before we come live, we need you to text the word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. And guess what, y'all? We is on Spotify. So if you want to be able to listen to us, maybe not, you can't see us, you just want to listen to us, go on Spotify and search for Fly Nubian Money. And then if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, we go to flynubianmoney.com where we show you ways that you could do that. We love you, and we're going to see you tomorrow. Who's going to be here tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, right? So am I going to see any of y'all, Queens, King, tomorrow? No?
I'm gonna be getting ready for Vegas.
Yes. Hey, listen, if anybody's out in Vegas, real shit, go see my sis. She is hilarious. But we're going to be here tomorrow. Same time, same bat channel. We're going to talk about something as equally as stimulating, intellectually stimulating. So make sure you tell your friends. Tell your friends come over here and listen to us too. And make sure you subscribe to our channels wherever you're watching, because we're on about 10 different networks right now. Wherever you're watching, make sure you subscribe and go cross-reference that and follow me on everywhere. I am Constance Carter. I want you to go over to Instagram right now and follow my shit too. Okay. All right, y'all. I love you. I really do. I love Black people so much. And we will see you tomorrow. Peace.